Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the Material Design course week 7. This meeting, we're going to discuss about technology in ELT. In this chapter, the aim is to explore the relationship between technology and language teaching and learning. It doesn't mean that technology does things better always. Firstly, we will explore the relationship between the teacher and technology. Now, my question is, do you guys think that teacher needs technology in teaching and learning? Or do you think that technology had actually been occurred in the past? Yes, the answer is technology already existed, and teacher had actually been using technology in their teaching and learning process. Let's see some opinions about technology. First one is about the arguments of Bax, who mentioned that technology use needs to also be understood in relation to a teacher's intention and role, and where it is used in the curriculum. Bax in 2003 suggests that a fully integrated technology use might be described as normalized. The word normalized here, it actually means that you are trying to use this technology in your daily lives or in your professional practice. Now, can you think of any technology that has become normal for you to use? I'll give you some time, think about it, and later you can write it down and reflect. Actually, I have used this technology, and to me, this is normal. Now, our discussion will go to the technology itself. Firstly, we have what is it called by CMC, or Computer Mediated Communications. When we talk about the CMC, we are talking about synchronous and asynchronous. So CMC, or Computer Mediated Communications, is actually the way people use the technology to communicate. So the first thing about the synchronous, we have, for example, the Messenger. This is the example, MSN, Yahoo, or the telephony software. Skype used to be very familiar, and now what is very familiar among students and teachers is what we call as video conferencing. So we are very familiar in using Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and so on and so forth. That is for the synchronous ones. What about the computer-mediated communications, but asynchronous? So the word asynchronous, it comes from the idea of you are not doing it real time. So for example, here the bulletin boards or forum spaces, blogs and emails, it means that when you are doing it now, you might not get the feedback or the interactions or the answer from the persons you are talking to or you're communicating with directly. And the last one is what is mentioned by Karpati in 2009, the social web. This example is, for example, Ning, Facebook, Google Docs, and Twitter. I believe you guys are very familiar with this. Now, in the previous questions, I was asking to you about the technology and the teacher. Are they correlate each other. Yes, so we'll see the technology was actually existed more than 20 years ago and up to now, but they came with a new look. Say for example, Web 2.0. Right? So the Web 2.0 is the everything that is based on the internet. And then the second part is video. So example of video is YouTube, because nowadays YouTube becomes the most searched content. In this case, because we're talking about the educational context, it is searched by teachers. Teachers are looking for YouTube videos to find out some information. It's not just teachers but students as well. And the third one is video. One of the examples is SafeShare.tv. Movie clips, making a movie from Windows Movie Maker or Apple's iMovie, or from your mobile phones, and etc. So with this fact, we can see that there is a shift in technology use. So when we had technology, we used to have the cassette, analog audio or analog video, word processing, database, CD-ROM, and etc. It now moved to digital audio on CD, so we forgot about the cassette. And then instead of the analog video, we have the digital video. And also learning resources on the web, online authored tasks, for example, hot potatoes, synchronous and asynchronous, and to the virtual worlds, and etc. And then after this, we move to the redefining learning boundaries. So now it's been very famous. Digital audio online, for example, podcasts, right? Or it is done using the mobile devices. Digital video or podcasts, YouTube, shared world through Web 2.0, for example, blogs or photo sharing. Learners as digital producer using the Audacity, Movie Maker, Podomatic, YouTube, Prezi, Genially, Canva, and so on and so forth. Learners as online collaborator and writer, for example, wikis, Google Docs, Google Wave, and etc. And then synchronous and asynchronous activity via text, audio, video chat, social networking applications, and virtual classroom environments using Moodle. My class MJ is constructed using Moodle, and now we can enjoy the distant learning because of the pandemic, but it's actually now we feel that we are very lucky to have the platform of the online. And then virtual 3D worlds, we have some examples on that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about technology, now we want to see the views of technology. So in this case, the views of technology was developed by Taylor in 1980s. He mentioned that, he sees technology from the metaphor of tutor, tutee, and tool. Right, so the three T's. The tutor views, he sees software as having a teacher built in. So, for example, like there will be an instruction, support, feedback in the material. And then from the tutti point of view, the computer at the control of the learner. So that's why it requires the user to program the computer in such a way. And then the last one is the view from the tool. So the concept of the tool is adapted from more generic software. This is the kind of software we might use on a daily basis, like for example a word processor or a web browser or other tools that enable us to complete a specific task. Now, first thing first, technology use an aspect of language teaching practice. So now we want to see, for example, computers and the language aspect, for example, reading. So computer can help reading. In what way does computer help reading? Jones and Fortescue in 1987 identified 3 ways in which the computer can assist reading. The first one is incidental reading. So incidental reading occurs in the instructions, in the menus, in the help files, right? All of these actions require reading skills, and the learners are exposed to written language without being conscious of it. The aim of this reading is in relation to the actual task they are pursuing, and of course, there is the implication here that learners need to understand a meta language that is beyond the text themselves. The second part is reading comprehension. It is very easy to get computers to replicate traditional reading comprehension exercises, including WH questions, true or false, or multiple choice. Such tasks may be part of language teaching software or provided by publishers on the website accompanying the course books. The third one about the computer that can help reading is the text manipulation. This involves the degrading of a text in some way, requiring the learner to restore it to its whole. This works on the daily basis of a template. A text is typed into the computer software, and the software applies a systematic manipulations to that text. Some software can operate more than one manipulations, for example, jumbling the sentences, removing all punctuation, removing all of the text. This is the text manipulation. Now the second one is computer and writing, how computer helps writing. When we talk about writing, and in relations to the technology, we actually are talking about how we can help learners to be able to write by maximizing or utilizing the existence of technology. In this case, it's the computer. If we see one example is the word processor. The word processor is the most obvious writing tool. It allows learners to generate, develop, and make modifications to a text while retaining a tidy look to the page. So by using the word processor, we can actually do the process of writing, and then at the end of the day we will have the result of the writing. Piper's early research in 1987 mentioned that Learners' use of the word processors reported willingness to spend more time composing, greater concentrations on the task in hand, willingness to see the writing as a fluid piece of work, therefore editing where required. So this is just the introductions of technology and language learning and teaching. So after this video, you can go to our course book, our textbook, page 91, and also in there you will see some explanations of how technologies will help us in learning language.